It is currently 4:40 p.m. and at 9:03 p.m. Eastern Time, the sun crosses the equator. This starts fall. And our summer has been a bit of a volatile one across the metro area. However, it's coming to an end and the weather is going to sharply change when it comes to it. Summer began with a bit of a cloudy, windy day, but was still warm. Highs around 80 in the metro area, with lows going from 63 in the city and into the 50s in the surrounding suburbs. This was a contrast to the end of spring, where even in the city lows managed to get to the 50s for 3 nights in a row, and the suburbs get pretty deep into the 50s, some of them managing to even get to the 40s. However, on June 24th, humidity increases, temperatures go right back up to where they were before, but this time with added humidity. This is when the shorts weather began for a lot of people, and the next couple of days the heat would build. New York City would get to only 90-degree high and 70-degree day low during this time. June 25th was a 90-degree high. June 26th was a 70-degree low. However, after that, we had 2 days with highs in the pleasant 70s, and then 33 days in a row, including the entire July, with every single day having a high of 80 plus across the metro area, or at least most parts of it, which is only the third time it's happened. The other one being July 1944 and August 2015. And in case you're wondering, in my suburb, yes, in my suburb, it did have a high of 80 plus every single day of August 2015 as well. So July 2022 is hot, and August offered basically no relief and became the hottest on record in both Newark and in Islip. Early August had a brutal heat wave across the Northeast, which went from 4 days in New York City to 10 days in Philadelphia. New York City's July heat wave was 6 days. The one in Philly was 8. This was because New York City managed to have highs of 89 degrees on 2 days, which broke up the heat wave. The city had 8 consecutive days above 90. Newark saw, for the first time ever, 5 days in a row with highs in the triple digits in July 2022. So it was a pretty brutal summer for us all. It was actually relatively mild at first. Then in mid-July, we had that day with the record rainfall in New York City and the extreme storms across the area, triggering sinkholes on the 18th. Then a heat dome set up, and it wasn't until another round of severe storms on the 25th that the heat wave manages to break. Temperatures become more pleasant briefly, and highs even returned to the 70s on August 1st, but then quickly jumped back up to the 90s the next day. And then that's the start of our early August heat wave, which does fall on August 9th due to another round of severe thunderstorms. Despite this though, August is still very dry, and no day has a half inch of rain, though the 1st of August came very close. And again, third warmest August on record for the city. July and August had the most lows in the 70s on record. It was a very, very warm summer across our area. Neither July nor August managed to have a low plummet down to the 50s. Although some parts of the metro area did, but only when you got to like Suffolk County and up into upstate. And this was in mid-August after the heat wave, when kind of like a fall preview came, except that while the city managed to have a day with a high in the 70s, my suburb did not. As a matter of fact, my suburb literally would have went, if not for August 1st breaking it up perfectly in the middle, it would have had 65 days with highs in the 80s. every single day in July and August, the first day of September, and the last 2 days of June. That's crazy to think about. And it was just that one day that had to mess everything up. Some days, though, were a lot warmer than predicted, which was annoying to track. I then went up to Montreal and Vermont, which saw no relief from another period of intense heat that baked the city in mid to late August. And then there was more heat in late August. For the third year in a row in the city, the 27th hit 90 degrees. However, unlike the previous 2 years, this would not be the last 90-degree day in the city, because the city would hit 90 degrees on September 4th. My suburb didn't get quite that hot, but it still hit 88, albeit that was on September 1st. It was basically hot and humid, late August multiple times, and then even into early September before widespread rain came in and gave us lows that were actually in the mid-70s, which is something nice, on the 6th and 7th. However, the heat then returned on the 8th and the 9th, and the 10th gets back into the mid-80s again. However, the 11th cools off substantially. Then the heat is, the heat and humidity comes back on Monday, Tuesday again, but gray mornings cause people to wear clothing that was actually heavier than what they would wear for this time of year, even if it wasn't so hot. The 13th, though, it gets cooler, but it also clears up. However, the 14th is met with cooler temperatures and highs only getting to the mid-70s. And this happens on Friday with lows getting down into the mid-50s, even for New York City. So this is the first time to follow the 16th that the city gets down this cold. However, while the highs remain similar the next day, the lows do increase on the 16th, 17th, and then 18th. It's back to summer, back to the mid-80s, but it appears that they were done, not the 18th, the 19th. Because on the 20th, we got back down to around 80. 21st cooled off a bit, and then the 22nd, which is the last day of summer, it appears that we're going to have highs in the mid-70s, and then a cold front came through bringing storms. And then the lows appear to be going to go down to about 60 and continuing to plummet. About 60. Even in the city, they're forecasting on the 22nd that there will be a low of 49 degrees. And with heavy winds, the wind chills will be getting down to the mid-40s. Be prepared, because summer is at its end and the weather is going to very quickly update. It will get warmer, but no highs above the low 70s in the forecast as of right now. And while it probably will be happening in October, they're not guaranteed to. We could be in for a below average October.